So
Now we're live.
now we're like, that's amazing. I just like with the intro and everything, I thought, oh, I must have missed something. Okay, we're gonna start again, too, because no one saw that. So Martha is a recovering attorney. Again, please explain to us what a recovering attorney is.
I was licensed to practice law in 1989, and I practiced family law and business law and estate planning. And there's something about law school that kind of takes your soul out of you for a little bit. And so I'm in recovery from that. I have been in recovery for quite a while, getting that soul and that heart-centered purpose back for myself.
All right. And then the second thing you are is a certified fearless living coach.
I
So this is
am.
an actual certification.
It is an actual certification. I
Okay.
actually have 3 certifications. I'm also a certified sacred money archetype coach and a certified money breakthrough business coach. The fearless living is all about teaching my clients and helping them find where fear is interfering and having them play small. All about that is just, where's fear in your life? Where is it holding you back? Where is it keeping you in your comfort zone? And really the idea that in order to gain confidence, you have to step out of that comfort zone. You don't get
What?
confidence staying in your little comfort zone. Life begins at the outside of that.
Oh, that sucks. Can't I just be comfortable and succeed naturally? Like, isn't that the way it works?
Maybe you, but not the rest of us, Shiraz.
Okay,
Maybe you. I would believe anything of you.
so I like to fiddle with reality, so things work different. So, okay, so
Riddle away.
all right. So, as is the norm on this show, Martha is going to coach me. I'm going to coach her. We're going to have a lot of fun. And if there's time, we may coach some of the people that are there in the audience that are not on YouTube, but actually here at the studio. I see a few of you there. And for me, it's all good. This live became an Easter egg hunt. Yes. Yes, sorry, I forgot to hit live. We started like this. Actually, everything was happening, and then all of a sudden, here we are on YouTube. You guys missed the wonderful intro, but you can go watch any other episode and see the intro. You know what it looks like. Okay. Before we get to the coaching part, though, Martha,
Yeah.
what got you to where you are?
When I was 7, I came home one day. That was 1968. I came home one day and from freedom, we didn't have cell phones back then and no way to track us. We just left the house and came back later when we felt like it, back in the day.
You can do that?
Yeah, really. We were free. Our parents didn't know where we were, what we were doing, or who we were with. Those are the good old days. Doesn't happen now. I track my daughter on her phone. So
Most parents do.
how sad is that? So I came home one day from just a day of freedom, which is important to note. And my dad sat me down and told me that my mom and 2 of my brothers had moved out and that my parents were getting divorced. I was 7. And it was from that moment on that everything kind of changed. So it's interesting. Hey, Jessica. So it's interesting that I kind of give an analogy. I was a planted tree growing really strong in the beautiful landscape of Iowa, beautiful soil. And my parents kind of dug me up, stuck me in 2 small pots, and shifted me back and forth from house to house.
Wow.
Different rules, so different nutrients, different rules, everything was different. And I got pretty root bound. I developed a lot of survival skills. And primarily I had a really shitty relationship with money. Because you want to hear my money story, Shiraz?
A shitty relationship with money story? Okay, let me get the tissues. We can do this.
I was invited to prom. And for the non-popular kids, that's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
It just is a big deal for us. And I was so excited about it. And I went home and I told my mom, and she was excited and wanted to go shopping to get the dress, but didn't want to pay for the dress. She didn't get enough child support. My dad needed to pay for the dress. So I had to call my dad. Really awkward. So I call my dad. I'm 17. I call my dad, tell him. He's like, that is so exciting. Send me a picture. I'm like, Mom says that perhaps I could ask you for some money to pay for the dress. And my dad said, oh, sweetie, I pay a lot of child support to your mom, and it's for that. Okay. That's where I am. So you want to know how I got my dress?
How'd you get your dress?
I called my older brother, who was in medical school at the time. So eating the equivalent of top ramen because we have the same parents, and he's going through the same struggle with money that I was going through. And he said to me, you know what? I am going to pay for your dress. I will find some way to come up with the money. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I have one requirement. You do not give a picture to dad or mom. They do not deserve the picture of you going to prom.
Whoa, okay.
And I said, okay, deal. So my brother paid for my prom dress.
Nice. Okay. You got a great brother.
He is. I have 4 brothers.
Okay. I don't think I could
But
get
he
my brother.
is phenomenal. I'm
I
sorry?
don't think I get my brother to pay for my prom dress unless it was a physical dress and not a tuxedo. Then he would probably pay for it.
Yeah, and then he'd probably pay for the pictures.
Yes, definitely. And sell them.
Yeah. Sure. It's also the same brother who used to throw me in the pool right before a date after however long, right?
There's a little yin and yang going on there. Right?
Total. He's a great guy. So.
Okay. So this was the dress. Now, did this lead to other money issues moving forward?
Oh,
Or
yeah. So, Shiraz, I've been married for almost 30 years. And the first time my husband and I had an argument, and all of our discussions have either been about money, sometimes about kids, mostly about money and the kids, right?
Mhm.
And I literally, for the first probably 24 years, maybe longer, would just put up my hand and say, talk to the hand. We're not discussing money. Nothing good comes from talking about money. My parents got divorced talking about money. So if you don't want to get divorced, we just simply don't talk about it, dude.
Okay. So, I think we may have gone into unrelatable territory because parents arguing about money and kids, I don't think anyone out there.
Nobody has that, right? The number one reason people get divorced is discussions about money.
Yep, I can see that. Okay. So I can see that from the childhood you were divorced, now it's into your marriage, but you don't want to end marriage. You don't want to do what your parents did. You just don't talk about the things that may lead that way.
Well, you know what's funny, Shiraz, is very early in our marriage, we had a fight, and I was a family law attorney, right? Who marries a family law attorney? I'm just going to say, brave man. And I went to work and prepared all of our divorce papers and came home and handed them to him.
What?
That's what he said. What? And I said, we fought. We argued. Obviously, we're going to get divorced. That's really what I learned from my parents growing up. If we fight, we're going to get divorced. And he said, no, we had a discussion. We have discussions to resolve issues, and then we move on with our marriage. I'm like, I've never seen that. I don't know that that's actually what happens. He said, yeah, you're not getting rid of me that easy. Shredded the documents and said, now we can talk. I went, oh, okay.
And it's funny you say that because I haven't seen that. And the amount of times I've worked with people and they say, how parents do this. And I'm like, no, it's how your parents do this. It's not all parents doing
right. Yeah, it's how it's my parents. Every time my dad and my stepmom had a fight, man, they were getting divorced.
Wow.
Telling you that tree was really root bound.
Mm-hmm. So now then, how did you step out? Like you've now entered foreign territory with a husband that's not going to divorce you over any any small
Right?
argument
No matter how much of a bitch I am, he just sticks it out. True love.
Okay. So how did you, first of all, how did that feel for a while trying to navigate that foreign relationship, even though it was healthy? And how did that lead you to this?
Really uncomfortable. It was really, I mean, anytime we fought, my mindset was still, we're getting divorced. I just didn't do the paperwork anymore. And
Mhm.
after I cooled down, I would just tell him what he got in our hypothetical divorce, depending upon how mad I was or whatever. Um, it's really just been the last like 2 years that isn't my first go to. Two
Okay.
years, that's not my first go to.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
And now I'll say, wow, that thought crossed my mind, but yeah, no, you're not getting out of it that easy, dude. We're going to talk about this, right? And really a lot of it was fearless living, figuring out what my triggers were and who I am, really exploring. That was for me the silver lining of COVID, was having that time where I was, well, we moved during it. So we're down in Southern California. We know nobody. So we got together with nobody anyway. Um, and I just had time to really reflect on who I was, who I want to be, and how I want to show up in the world, and who I want to serve, and how I want to help people
Nice.
for the
Okay.
next half of my life.
Okay. And now you're doing it.
Now I'm doing it.
Okay. And people are about to see how you do it.
They are. They are. Well, this is the first step in the
Okay.
money stuff.
Yes. So we talked ahead about what we're going to be getting, what I'm going to get coached on, and it's money. And I had to fill out this form,
A self-assessment. Uh-huh.
a self-assessment form on how I am with money. So did I pass is my question.
Of course you passed. Everyone passes.
Oh,
It's what it tells me, and it's funny because as I was laying in bed last night thinking about how I wanted to do this, I was like, he's going to be a maverick. I hadn't looked at it. I didn't look at it until this morning. He's going to be a maverick. And I went, Martha, you just can't guess that. And I looked and went, oh, look, he's a maverick. How shocking. I love that.
okay. So
I
I
love
think
it.
you need to explain what a
So
maverick is to people and what the
I
other
am going
options.
to tell you what a maverick is. But first, I want you to tell me about your relationship with money. How do you feel about money?
Well, we have a good relationship. Sometimes she doesn't talk to me, but I let her get by with that, and I forgive her most of the time. I'm not exactly sure how to answer that question.
How do you feel about money?
I love money.
Do you and so one of the things about a maverick, which I really love, and
Yep.
it is really, really true. The maverick is the inner rebel with a cause, right?
Mhm.
You're gonna do it. You're gonna do it your way most of the time. You really are good with your numbers. You pay attention to your numbers. You're charismatic. You have some serious strengths. And I have to put my glasses back on my face. I don't like them. You're clever, you're flamboyant, you structure and handle financial complexity with ease. That just really is one of your gigs.
Just
Um,
keep these compliments coming. I'm just loving this
and
right.
you like to take risks. That's what the Maverick is
I
all
do.
about, taking those financial risks. Um, and So the challenge for you, Shiraz and Maverick in the same sentence. Yep, that's what it is. So on his secondary influencing um, archetype is celebrity, which also just totally, the three of yours, I was like, yeah, it really is a beautiful rounded picture of who you are. Um, and I don't know how much time I get to coach you, but
You have like 15 minutes.
ooh, 15 more? Fabulous. Excellent. Awesome. So, because I love that. So, the maverick loves to take risks. They don't often balance the risk with the day-to-day bread and butter, right? You solidifying for you that day-to-day financial security is where your challenge is. Does that resonate with you?
Yep.
So you have a sacred money contract or a money contract, should you wish to accept it with money. And that is to balance that extreme risk with financial security.
Okay.
And the ways to do that, and it isn't exciting, right? You don't, balance isn't really the thing that tricks your trigger. That isn't something that you're like, oh yeah, let's have that balance and have that, daily bread and butter thing. That
Not
does
exciting.
not trick your trigger at all. But if you focused, ironically, if you focused your energy and talents on creating that sustainable income, you would achieve rich success far beyond what you crave.
I crave a lot.
If you and it is yours for the asking. And harnessing all that charisma, all that energy, all those skills with numbers and money, and putting that in day to day, any of the B words, balance, bread, butter. That's awesome. And if he did balance those things, right? The opportunity that you have of creating that sustainable income where you can have a lot of time freedom, right? And do all the risks you want to do, right? That will fund your risk. That will fund that fun, exciting, risk-taking part of you. So your challenge is why not use all of that courage and cleverness, all of that charisma, right, to generate consistent income, to find that consistency. So, and then you are free to play and have new and exciting opportunities.
Okay.
You're like, I don't know about that. Tell me, how does that fit in? How does that
I get
feel?
it. I get it. And it's funny because right now I am working on having my business structured so there is that consistent income coming from specific sources where it's stable. This is the amount of work I have to do each month. This is where it's coming from. This is how it works. And then the rest of the month is just crazy, whatever I want to do. Let's have fun, explore, spend.
Let's take risk. Yeah, let's do what we want to do.
That's the way I'm setting it up. And just so the people haven't seen the chart and the numbers and stuff, but when I filled out this and then I started getting the results, it's interesting because with the numbers, most of them are clustered around 1 or 2 points around each other, but Maverick is so far beyond everything else.
Yeah. So his Maverick was at 30 and the next closest was at 25. His lowest was at 18.
So most of them were just in the 18 to 22, and then Maverick was up at 30. So
yeah, you had a, and it was, the Maverick is just so one of the things, a challenge, and evidently you're already doing that, right? You're already addressing that. So tell me, what is one thing about money that is blocked or that you wish you could change?
that is blocked. It's kind of like what you're talking about. For me, there's a certain amount of money that's coming in that's stable each month. But that stable isn't enough to support everything I do. Right. But then there's all this random money that's coming in like up to $10,000 chunks at a time. So I've got more than enough to support everything and do what I want. but I'd love it if that stable one was high enough so that I didn't need the other stuff, but I could still just bring that in whenever I wanted it.
Right. That you didn't
That's my
ever.
big
So
thing.
do you worry? Are there times that you worry about how to cover everything?
Sometimes there's a little nervousness, but I know just from my experience, it always works out anyway. So it creeps up a little bit and then it just goes away. And that's it for me. And that's so. But having that thing where I'm like, if I wanted to, I didn't have to work other than those mandatory days attached to that income. Take 20 days off a month. That would be wonderful. I never would because I love going out and doing crazy things and doing the risks and being the maverick. But to know I could just, I'm not going to do anything this month. That would be cool.
That would be cool.
Right.
That would be cool, right? That would allow you to take a long vacation.
Yep.
Going somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Don't know what a vacation is?
I no, a long vacation, because even like going through my life, I would never really take a vacation. That's something I've recently been doing. What I would do is say, you know what, I'd literally love to go to Australia. So then I just moved there, and
Oh,
I'd spend like I'd literally spent 2 years there until I was done, and then I went somewhere else and I'd live there instead of going there for vacation. That's just the way I work.
you really are cool.
Thank you.
You really are that maverick cool dude. Really. Just cool.
So
So,
I figured, why not get paid going to the places you want to live in?
yeah, I never thought about that. That
Okay.
that isn't really. I still don't know where I'm going next. So
Okay.
there you go. List 8 ways. What are 8 ways that your life might change if you created that bread and butter, that balance? What would
My God.
change for you?
8. It's
Hey,
not
give me 3.
like 3,
Eight.
8. Holy,
Give me 3. Give me as many as you can give me. 8. I like the word. I like 8. 7. Whatever. Give me something.
8 ways in which my life might change. Um, I might actually consider doing vacations.
Instead of just moving there.
Yeah. Uh, well, I mean, probably my entire business is online, so I might just be there, living there, and not working that much. Um, what else would change in my life if that stability was there and I didn't have to do that? You know what? You're bringing up some blocks here, which is interesting. I
Okay.
did not expect that to go, because part of me is saying if you had that downtime, you could get lazy. You would lose the thrill of the hustle if it wasn't necessary.
Is that true?
It's feel like that's what's coming up when you said, because you're looking for what's the great thing, but the first thing that's coming up is, well, if I didn't have anything to do, what would I do? Like,
So
right?
what would happen? What would happen if you didn't have anything to do?
Uh, I couldn't have nothing to do. I love learning. I love growing. I love being on stages and doing my talks.
Hmm.
I, Nothing to do sounds horrible to me.
So 2-week period of time.
Mhm.
You're on a beach
Yep.
with someone you care about.
Yep.
Can you not work?
I cannot work.
Okay.
But I would learn. I would read. I would improve myself.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's fun for you though. That's
That's fun for me.
part of what you enjoy and you
Yes.
like. Maybe
Yes.
go skydiving or do some of those other maverick things that are risky.
Absolutely. I do enjoy skydiving.
Yeah.
So,
Those things that the actuarials don't like when you're filling out the life insurance form, we're like, yeah, no, no, no. Yeah. So what brought up that I don't want to do nothing?
because my brain went to, if I had that stable income, so I covered everything. And
Yeah.
then if I covered everything, I wouldn't have to work those 20 days. And if I didn't have to work those 20 days, what would I do with those 20 days? And it kind of felt empty.
Okay.
Right.
So how else would you fill those 20 days?
Well, that's the thing. I would want to go and be talking up on stages. I would I would be wanting to teach classes. Uh, but something in the way you said it or the way my brain went, it was, well, wait, you need something there. Um,
Or
or you'll be bored, or you're not you're
you said lazy.
and lazy. Yeah, I don't want to be lazy.
What does lazy mean?
Lazy means lack lack of initiative, lack of what's the word? Desire. Um,
So, Shiraz, I'm curious. Have you ever in your entire life been lazy or lacked initiative? Ever?
for short periods of time, yeah. Not for as a norm, no.
Okay, what happened?
I would probably say it comes from a place where I was probably overworking, and then it's just like I just don't want to do anything right now. I just want to sit here and be a couch potato for a while. But it never lasts that long. Eventually, it's like I need to do something. I need
Okay.
I need action in my life. I need something in my life. And I know people that can just sit around and watch TV all day or play video games all day, and they seem to be very happy. And for me, it's like, how? Like,
So I'm curious though, how having a bread and butter, making whatever amount of money you want on a monthly basis on a
mhm,
steady stream and not putting a ton of time in, let's say 20 hours is it, right?
mhm.
How that equates to either being lazy or being bored.
I don't know. That's just what came up when you brought that up.
So, how old are you for that emotion? Where is that emotion? First number that comes to your head.
7.
7.
Yeah. Grade 2.
Do you know what happened at 7? Is there something in there? Or do we just want to breathe through it and heal that part of it?
Uh, Nothing's coming up. I'm trying to think what we
Okay.
did. Yeah. Okay, we can breathe through it.
Okay. So deep breathing through your abdominal.
Okay.
Note the rhythmic breathing.
Mhm.
Okay. For your audience, it's using your abdominal muscles to breathe in and breathe out rhythmically, making, counting either your heartbeats or whatever, hoping to get up to like 8, and then we'll look at it. Okay. So let's feel, what is that feeling? What is that feeling? What is the feeling
Of
that comes with the board? Is it, what feeling comes with that?
it's a little bit of anxiety.
Okay.
Um, yeah, and loss. Yeah, loss, like loss of opportunity, loss of time.
Okay. All
And
right. So let's go ahead and do some deep breathing. Go ahead and close your eyes. Breathing in with your abdominals and breathing out. Excuse the dog. Breathing in with your muscles and breathing out. Deep breathing. Letting everything else go. Couple more times. What's going on?
oh, there's something shifted. Ooh,
Okay.
here we go.
So you're 7 and there's some anxiety over being lazy. What are you feeling about that? What's underneath the anxiety?
I'm not going to be good enough.
Hmm. So let's breathe into that not going to be good enough. I'm right there with you. We're right there with that 7-year-old. What's underneath? Is there any feelings underneath not being good enough?
Sort of as I have to show my parents how good I am.
Okay. Breathing into that feeling. Any other emotions in there?
Show my value to the other students.
Okay. What's that feeling? Showing your value isn't really a feeling. So what
It's
feeling is it?
yeah, at that age is like that's how I'm going to show I fit in.
Okay. All right. So is there loneliness?
At that period, we were moving, so I was starting in new schools almost yearly.
Okay. So deep breathing into those feelings. So Shiraz, what did the 7-year-old Shiraz need to know? What did he need to be certain of, not to feel lazy or like he had to prove his worth?
Needed to feel accepted.
Okay. All right. What else did he need?
Acknowledgement.
Okay. From whom?
Actually, the teachers.
Okay. So can you see your 7-year-old self?
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell him what he needs to know so he can let go of those emotions and heal that? I'm right there with you. What does he need?
He just needs to know he can do what he does for the joy of it, not to prove anything.
Hmm.
And he can do it or not do it, and it's still going to be fine.
Hmm. So have you told him that?
Yep.
Does he believe you?
He gets it. It's like he's still processing it.
Okay.
Like, this is
Okay.
no one told me that.
Yeah. So what will he need? How much time do you think he'll need to process that? What do you think he needs to do to process that?
Oh, I think he's getting it.
Okay. I'm right there with both of you.
Yeah, now he gets it.
Okay. So he's good.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and breathe into your sacral chakra, the love and light, right? The acceptance of that change. That deep abdominal breath, breathing in love and light, exhaling into your sacral chakra, love and light. A couple more times. Is your 7-year-old Shiraz complete? Does he need anything else?
No, it's complete.
He's complete. So he knows he can do whatever he wants for joy?
Yep.
Beautiful. When you are ready, you can open your eyes.
Oh, ooh, wow.
Does that feel a different place?
Yeah, yeah,
So
definitely.
when you think about having all the money you need to support you kind of automated with some management, how does that feel? That
Feels a lot
bread and
better.
butter.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Good.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. No, I'd never made that association before. It was just cool. All right.
7 is a really big age.
Yeah.
So if I had more time, I would go more into these things, but you're good.
I'm good. Thank you.
Are you good?
I'm good.
Unless you want to know more about celebrity or the other things. That was the key part of that, right? Getting
Okay.
that
Well,
challenge.
if our viewers want to know more about that, how do they get more information from you or contact you before we go into your side and then
Yeah.
at the end of the
So
show?
they can contact me at marthadalexander@gmail.com. That's MARTHAD Alexander, ALEXANDER @gmail.com. And just put in the subject line Shiraz. Um, I want to know more about money.
Okay. And this will be in the show notes if you check up with the show in YouTube, Facebook, wherever we have it posted later on. It's all going to be there.
Wherever it goes.
But if you're listening, write it down. Do it now before the queue fills up and you got to wait. Okay.
Wait.
All right. So now we're going to flip it over. And Martha, what do you want to work on?
You know, I've thought about this. Really, it's sleep.
Sleep. Okay. Are you not sleeping?
No, I don't sleep.
Okay. All right.
My
Have
head spins.
have you? Okay, I forgot to ask. Have you seen me work before? So do you know the process?
I have not.
Okay, we're gonna have to explain this, and this also might explain what was going on before. When energy shifts around me, whether it's my own energy or other people's, I tend to yawn and cough.
I got that.
Okay, good.
That
So,
seemed pretty apparent.
yeah, yeah. So the yawning is a common thing, but the coughing, I didn't know if you thought I was just coughing or that was part of the process. So I just wanted to throw that out.
I wasn't sure actually, but now that you explained it, it kind of makes sense.
Okay. So what my process is we talk about the issue. And when I talk to you, I can tell when your conscious beliefs match your unconscious beliefs.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
So if I asked you a question like, would you like more sleep? And you said, of course I would. I might say, no, you don't, because that's not how it's coming up. And so once we find out there's a lie in there, we look to see what is the story behind the lie, what's actually running your subconscious. And when I get to the story, I'm going to say, are you willing to step out of that story? If you say yes and you mean it, and again, I can tell whether you mean it or not,
Okay.
then that shifts the story in the moment. The energy shifts, and then I will start yawning and coughing as a result of your energy. You know what it feels when your energy shifts. So you know what will happen with your body. And of course, the cool thing is, everyone that is watching, if you have a similar issue and you say yes while she's saying yes, it's going to shift for you too. So
How cool is that?
cool. So they just come along for the ride. Okay. Now, if you hear me say ow, it's because you're going into resistance on the thing we're trying to shift. You're like, no, Shiraz, I need that. Stay the hell away from that. I will cut you. And it doesn't actually hurt, but it gives me an idea of the intensity of which you're trying to hold on to that belief.
Okay.
And so and you'll hear me say ow. So we'll go from there.
Okay.
I don't feel like I'll get ows from you because you seem like the person that, oh, is that what's going on? Let's just let that go. But
Oh, but you never know, right?
you never know.
You
Okay.
never know.
All right. So we'll start off right where the problem was. Do you want to have more sleep?
Yes.
That's not
That wasn't a
completely true.
question. Yes, I would love to fall asleep earlier so I could get up earlier.
Okay, so that's not completely true.
It isn't?
It isn't.
Well, that sucks.
It felt like a half truth. So what's the disadvantage? What's bad about falling asleep earlier?
Oh, because Oh man, because sometimes at night when I lay down, that's like when my brain, the creative side of my brain kicks in and I start like writing a book or I start figuring out what I want to do and how I want to do it. And what I probably really need to do is simply get up and come to my office and take care of those things.
Okay.
Um, and I don't.
Okay. So is it better not to fall asleep than to take the chance that you're going to miss that creative process?
Oh, hell no. It would be so much better to just get up and do it.
See, that's not coming up true. So are you willing to step out of the story that it's better not to fall asleep than to take the chance
Okay.
that you'll
So
miss?
here's why it's not true.
Okay. Why is it?
Here's why it's not true.
Yeah.
Let's see if this is true. You're killing me here. I think I'm always true. So my husband is a bit codependent,
Mhm.
just a bit.
Okay.
So if I'm not there when he goes to bed, he doesn't sleep. So I would have to wait for him to fall asleep and then get up and hope the dogs don't wake him up.
Okay. Okay. So it's a big inconvenience kind of thing. It's better to just not go to sleep.
Well,
Mhm.
it is easier.
Okay.
It is the path of least resistance
Hmm.
to sit there and say, please remember this in the morning. But I don't. So sometimes I get up and go to the bathroom and I order it. But what I really just need to do is just leave the room. And once he's asleep, he's asleep. We all we all think we're always telling the truth. That's awesome. So
Okay.
would I like to get over that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
Let's
the other thing
break
to keep
that.
in mind, everything's connected.
Yes.
So what your husband does is connected to what's going on in your story.
Yes.
So if your story is it's okay to go to sleep and you're not going to miss anything, he may adjust his routine so you don't have to worry about all that anymore. Because that you having to worry about justifies you not going to sleep, which justifies that the whole story of, well, I'm not going to miss anything now because I'm awake. So
You don't need to run that past me again.
okay, if the original story is I don't want to miss out on that creative process,
Yes.
and your story creates your reality around you, then to anchor that in, you can create situations that also make sure you don't go to sleep so that you can use them as excuses. Well, that's just passive leaf resistance because now my husband's involved as well.
So I created his codependency?
You can maybe not the codependency, but in that instance, well, technically, when we go from the broad aspect of everything you're creating in your life, yes, you created the codependency. We're just looking at that one aspect right now.
Well, we're going to fix that.
Okay,
Let's
so
go, Shiraz.
okay, so we're going to start with: are you willing to step out of the story that it's better to stay awake than to go to sleep and possibly miss out on the creative process?
Am I willing to step
Yes.
out of the story that it's better
To not sleep
to not sleep?
than to go to sleep and possibly miss out on that creative process?
I don't know. I really like sleep, Shiraz. I got to
No,
be
no, no.
honest.
But the
I love my
story, your story is it's better not to sleep. That's your story. I'm asking, are you willing to step out of that story?
Yes.
Okay, there, now it clicked. So remember, the story I'm going to describe is the current story that you're living in. And I'm saying, are you willing to step out of that story?
Yes.
Okay.
I found that I can have both go to sleep really early and wake up before. Huh. Cool.
Okay. So for the people that can't see the chat,
Oh, I'm sorry.
there's the public chat and there's a private chat. In the private chat, we have I used to hate going to bed early because I felt productive in the middle of the night, but I found that I can have both, go to sleep early and wake up at 4 and get stuff done. Okay, so that was actually where we're going next too, is are you willing to step out of the story that the time you're really creative is only at night. You just went into such resistance there.
Well, I'm trying to think because am I willing? I'm willing to practice that. I'm willing to entertain that. The resistance is that in my experience, once I lay my head down, I get flooded with creativity,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah. But
Um,
the story is that creativity only comes at night when you lay your head down.
oh,
Are you willing to step out
oh,
of the story
I
that that's
created that
only
story.
yeah.
Oh,
Are you willing to step out of that story?
yes, yes. This whole I created my own shit is kind of powerful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It's amazing how powerful we can be. Um, and people don't realize it. Like I had a client just recently. She talked about her ex-husband and how when he came to take the kids for the weekend, they live in different cities, and she would send out the email. He'd bitch about having to come, and then he would bitch about the cost of the trip, and then he'd come pick them up, bitch about the actual trip, then take the kids, bitch to the kids about her, bring the kids back, bitch about the weekend, even though it was good. There were the parts that weren't good. He'd bitch about that, right? Bitch about the trip home, get home and send an email and bitch about what the trip was like on the way home. And this happened every time he had to pick up the kids. And she's just like, oh. And then we looked at it and said, well, why do you need him to do this? And we finally got to the point that, well, if he was really, really nice, she might question whether she should have divorced him or not.
Oh,
Right? And so when we got clear that she's never ever going back to him, the next time he came to visit, he was pleasant the entire time.
that is awesome.
Okay.
Really powerful. I love that.
Yeah.
I'm going to sleep tonight, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
I love
Well,
that.
literally saying that. Right.
Yes.
So when you see something in your life that is recurring, that you are frustrated with, that doesn't seem to want to go away, you have to sit there and going, how is this a solution for me? What is this the
Oh,
solution to?
how
Not
do I benefit from this?
yeah.
Yeah. Hmm. Interesting.
Okay. So now, how are you feeling? Better, worse, the same, or different?
You're a lie detector, so now I have to really think about my answer. That
You
is
don't. You just have to answer, and we'll know right.
so. I don't know that I don't know that it's settled, right? I
Okay. So
don't
if
know
it's
that I
not
have it.
okay, so if it's not settled, what do you think is still sitting in there?
Doubt that I'm going to have creativity at
Okay.
another time during the day.
Okay. So, are you willing to step out of the story? Wow, that you cannot create that much creativity at any other time of the day. Ow.
Thought you said you weren't going to do
I didn't
owls with
expect
me.
owls from you, but
What?
here we are. Right.
Um, yeah, I that's a really hard one for me, evidently. And
Okay,
I didn't know that. I didn't know I had that much resistance to that.
so what do you love about that creativity right before bed?
It, so for I'm gonna sound so silly to say out loud. It sounds like a download from the universe or God or whatever you believe in, right?
Okay.
It feels like that's that one-on-one time where they just come and say, okay, and this is the next step.
Okay.
And I guess the cover of darkness. I don't know. I don't see it happening in bright daytime.
You know what the
Sitting
energy
at my
kind of
desk.
feels like? That's your intimate time with God.
Yeah.
Okay. So are you willing to step out of the story that your only intimate time with God can be late at night when you're cuddled up in bed?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, sort of. A little bit of a shift, not a lot.
I am stubborn. I do have to
Yeah.
say that I evidently I have issues. Who knew?
Okay. So, what if you could create intimate time with God at other times during the day? Even just in the morning before you get up, have the download and then get up and start your day and have all those ideas.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
It would.
It would. That's also right after, that's right before I meditate too. So that would be cool.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Okay, so we'll see if we can. It'll shift it this time. Now we've got other possibilities coming up because you could even just say that I'm going to mark off an hour where I'm just going to be in that creative meditative state where everything's just going to download, and do that every day if you want. Okay, so are you willing to step out of the story that the only time to have that intimate time with God for your downloads is right before bed?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely.
Yeah. I almost want to lie so you don't have to cough.
No, no, it doesn't hurt. I do this all the time.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Just saying.
All right.
That is awesome. I love that.
Okay. Now, how does that feel?
Fabulous.
There we go. That's where we needed to go. We were
That's
taking
awesome.
away your intimate time with God. We didn't want to do that. So,
Like, I don't know.
yeah.
But yeah, just reschedule the appointment.
Yep. God's got time.
I think you can pencil me in.
Yep.
Along with everybody else. Fabulous. I love that.
Cool. Yeah. So let me know later on how the sleep goes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm very
That's
curious.
awesome.
I think some of the audience will be curious to know too. So,
You know, who knew that you could just reschedule your quiet time and it's within your control? Who knew that?
yeah, most parents don't believe that, but it is possible. Right?
Right? That's awesome. I love that. So actually, I have to tell you that you shifted just on our call when we were talking, connecting that one time.
Mhm.
You shifted, I shifted something, or you helped me shift something that was huge in my life
Oh,
that I don't think I ever told you.
no, you didn't.
Want to hear about it?
What happened?
So I have my middle child is 20,
Mhm.
and he was really, really sick for high school. So he really didn't go to high school. And so he was in bed for almost 3 years with an illness. And he is better. But his back got messed up. And I mean, there's just a lot to it. And his confidence was really down. And he wasn't doing school. We have him in school now. He's getting his GED. And I shifted in what did you asked me, what do I get from him being dependent upon me, right? What do I get from that? And I thought, what do I get from that? Because all my, now my youngest is 18 too. So they're all, and I thought, am I keeping him there by what I want? So I spent some serious time shifting. And he is now acing out of the GED subject by subject and on his way. He's so much happier. So I just wanted to thank you for that shift that I never really gave you feedback for.
Oh, no, absolutely. You're welcome. And then that just even shows you that you're creating the reality, even if your children. This is how powerful.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Isn't that wild that I was creating his negative reality?
Yep.
So sad. So no, I'm not. Now I hold him as powerful and
It's all good.
it's all good.
All
I
right.
still have to work on it, but yeah. So thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, we're almost at the top of the hour, but we started a little late. If someone wants to volunteer, are you willing to chat with one person about what's going on?
Sure.
Okay. If you would like Martha to have a little coaching session with you, a little mini 2, 3, maybe 4 minute coaching session, turn on your camera so we can see you. And if not, if you're going to be shy, then we're going to go back over how to get in contact with her. And I know there were people that there's one popped up.
Yay.
Bring Karina up.
Hi, Karina.
And
You have to unmute.
Hello, hello. This
Hi.
is so cool. I love seeing how your styles are different, but your elements are similar. It's really, really lovely.
It was fun.
Well, I haven't filled out your questionnaire though.
Well, no, but if you have a question about money, or you want to know something about money, or you have a block about money, we can work on that. If you want to fill out the questionnaire, you're more than welcome to do that and get a free clarity call after that and kind of go over your stuff. Happy to do that too.
Cool. Well, I'd love to talk now since we're here.
Let's do it.
What's coming up for me around money is I'm always taken care of. Like I'm always taken care of, but I'm not thriving.
Okay.
I have been noticing with my business, I'm getting more and more comfortable being visible. I'm still working on some tech things. Like I have a lag between how many ideas I have and actually bringing them to the world.
Yeah.
But I can feel like I feel clear, but then the bounty of money doesn't come back and it doesn't feel like a call and response yet.
Okay. So money is an energy, right? I believe money. Do you believe that money isn't a flow of energy? So do you spend time with money? Do you sit down and look at the numbers and like a date with money?
I have.
Okay.
I have. And in fact, a couple of weeks ago, I was having like my meditation practice was about communing with the energy of money. And I actually did notice an uptick. Yeah. So just, okay, there's a story of work coming up. I'm like,
okay, tell me.
Okay, so do I have to like do this all the time, every day? Like how big does this relationship need to be?
Once a week, once every other week, right? And so do you deny money somewhere? Do you have leaks somewhere?
I have had some leaks that I don't want to do my business alone. And it's just me, I'm a solopreneur. So there's a piece too about like wanting, I want to be in community of some sort. And so I've maybe overspent on that a little bit.
Haven't we always? Haven't we all? Yeah.
And then I just enjoyed like the energy of the container. I haven't even, for some of them, haven't taken full advantage of what I've purchased. So a little bit of like buying to get that feeling as opposed to like doing the work to expand into it maybe.
So where else can you get that feeling of community?
Well, I just fired up my own Facebook group again recently. It had been dormant sort of for most of COVID. So that's been feeling really amazing. Yeah, that's a good question.
So who are the people that you trust the most, right? Your tribe, right? Your whoever that is, or who do you want in your tribe, right? And having either a weekly or every other week or a monthly just community call, right? Where you just get on and share the solopreneur, the heartaches, the trials, the tribulations, the successes, right? Because
so I am in a mastermind right now. I do feel like I have it. I am in a mastermind and I am I do have communities. Like I do feel supported and connected. So I'm a little like I can both feel a gap and I can feel opportunity, and I can't quite feel how I'm not. It's not that I'm not doing those things, and there's still a gap.
So tell me, what is that gap? If you knew what it was, what would it be?
It feels, what just came up was the trust of not the trust of not trying. That sounds a bit weird.
The trust of not trying. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, so like I'm an Enneagram 3 and I like to work hard and I like it to like, present well and all the things. And I don't know. Like I don't have a backyard pool to sit at. I don't have, the Sex and the City foursome that we, go to brunch every Sunday. I don't have non-business related people.
Right. Me either.
My
I'm with you.
partner and my kids, and I love them dearly, but feels different.
So those things are nice, but that's kind of an excuse. So what's really behind it?
That's what's coming up.
Okay.
Ask me.
So trust. How old are you? How old are you at feeling that? What's the earliest you felt that feeling?
Oh. Yeah, that's feeling like my schoolhood bullying. So elementary school, so like 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that the same feeling? Kind of that same?
It wasn't the same feeling, but as I looked deeper into my now feeling, I could feel the undercurrent of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you want to go into the deep breathing and see if we can release that? Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
So deep breathing is through your abdominal, right? So breathing in and letting your abdomen expand however far it goes, and contracting your abdomen to your heartbeat. If you can hear your heartbeat or just counting. All right. We want long, deep breaths. 6 is great. 8 is optimal. So we're just going to start to breathe. Close your eyes. Karina, what's the feeling behind that feeling that you're having that there's something just missing? What's that feeling?
Rejection and fear of rejection.
Let's breathe into the fear of rejection and the overall fear. And when you're breathing in, you're breathing love and light into that feeling, into that 10-year-old little girl who is feeling all those feels. I am right there with you. I'm holding space for you. It's safe to feel those feels and to hold that and to breathe love and light into that spot while you feel that fear. If any other emotions come up, just share with me what they are.
Confusion.
Confusion. Okay. Yeah. So breathing into that confusion, what that feels like.
Feel panicked and lost.
Panicked and lost. Okay. Breathing into panicked and lost. Letting those emotions be felt so that we can let them go. Breathing deep in to your abdominal. Breathing love and light into that space that hurt is. Karina, what does 10-year-old Karina need? What does she need to know?
Something like, I'll always think she's awesome and fun and that if the people in the room aren't enjoying her company, we can find the people who will.
Okay. How does that feel to her?
Like a relief.
Yeah. Can she let go of the fear and the fear of rejection and the confusion and the being lost? Yeah.
Yeah, it's starting.
Does she need anything more from you, like regular check-ins or anything else? Does she need more from you?
Yeah, she'd like to spend some conscious time together, maybe go for a walk together, just hang out.
Are you willing to do that with her?
Absolutely.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And will you start that? When will you start that?
I'm gonna go for a walk in half an hour.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, are there any other feelings that you need to resolve that relate to this missing piece with money?
I don't think so right now. I can feel that I want to let this digest a bit.
Okay, yeah. Makes perfect sense. How does it feel?
I can tell I do have some resistance that's up. I've got some like tension here and my body's all hot.
That's pretty good indication that there's
Still
some resistance.
happening.
So my question would be, is there an earlier time than 10? Did this start earlier than at 10?
Yeah, when you were working with Shiraz, the age that came up was 4, and
4.
that felt like
Okay.
that was my stories with my parents starting around this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is that something you'd like to explore? You want to go in and see and talk to your 4-year-old? Okay. Let's do that. So we're still deep breathing. What does 4-year-old Karina feel?
Sad and lonely.
So let's breathe into sad and lonely. Deep abdominal breaths. I'm right there with you. I'm holding both of you in a safe space. You're safe. Breathing deeply into sad and lonely. Are there feelings underneath sad and lonely?
Yeah. It's like I don't know how to fit in with the other kids. I feel separate.
Okay. What feelings go with being separated and not being able to fit in?
I was gonna say yearning, but it's more I'm just doing my thing, and then I notice that what's the feeling of that? Yeah, I guess it's rejection again and confusion again.
Yeah. Yeah, it starts early. So let's breathe into that feeling of rejection, fear of rejection, confusion at 4 that you're feeling. Deep breathing with your abdominal, breathing in love and light, feeling that feeling so that we can let it go. Karina, what does your 4-year-old need to know?
That I'm not broken, that I can learn whatever I need to know.
Yeah, what else?
And that doing things differently doesn't mean I'm doing them wrong.
Yeah. What else does she need to know?
That I don't need to put myself aside in order to fit in.
Wow. What's the feeling behind putting yourself aside in order to fit in?
Grief.
Yeah. Let's breathe into that grief, that sacrifice. What else is in there?
I feel calmer now.
Okay. Can you give that 4-year-old a little love, a hug? Tell her how much she's loved and how unique and special she is and how important that is to the world. That she shined her own unique life and light. So let's breathe again, love and light into that space, that 4-year-old. So as you're sitting there, isn't there an earlier time you felt that?
This came up with Shiraz as well. A lot of it's also from my mom,
Okay.
from her experience in the world, her stories.
Okay. Can you let go of her stories? Can you separate yourself from her stories and her experience and create what you want?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you free to do that, or is there some resistance to that?
It feels free.
Okay. All right. Is there any other time that you felt that earlier?
No. Not that.
Okay. So breathe in a few more times that love and light. Love and light. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. How does that feel?
I don't even know yet.
Yeah, you did there's some shifting going on at a couple of different ages.
Yeah. Wow.
You might want to check back in with her, the 4-year-old as well.
Yes. Yeah. So good. Thank you, Martha.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. so welcome. So we went over, Shiraz. Sorry. I don't
Yeah.
pay attention to the time when I'm doing that.
Listen there. Oh, it's going to be 2 to 4 minutes. Oh, wait, what's going on? And what
Yeah.
this is the thing.
I don't
Every
do
time I
2 to
thought
4 inner
you were
child in
ready to
2 to 4
stop, you're
minutes.
like, you want to go deeper. And it would amuse me because I'm sitting there going, okay, we're just on a show, we're doing a little thing. This is not a formal session of you, but this is the love and compassion and offering you're bringing to this. So working with you, what's that going to be like? Like that's what I
Just like
just
that.
want people to
Just
think.
like that. We stop. So when I work
Right?
with someone and we're like, we're going to do your money stuff, I have a client who we stopped at a certain question on a certain exercise, and we've been there for 2 weeks, and we'll probably be there longer.
Wow.
Because the question is, what do you have to let go of in order to embrace this? And it's all inner child work.
Okay.
Money mindset isn't just about money mindset. It's about a relationship and what holds you back and what you felt as a kid, because that fear of rejection is part of it. The fear of not being enough is part of it, right? All of that goes into what we bring to our relationship with money. All of it. So making sure that that's complete. And I dance with money. Money and I dance around. That's what money invited me to do. So I dance with money. And I want everyone to be able to do that if that's what they want. And money money has a different goal with everybody, right? A different, everyone sees them differently. I have a fabulous visualization for that. It's my favorite.
Nice. Okay. So please remind everyone again how to get in touch with you. We're going to put it in the show notes.
Sure. MarthaDAlexander@gmail.com. Or I didn't mention, you can also go to courageouslyoucoaching.com.
Courageouslyoucoaching.com. Okay. All right. Thank you, Karina. We're going to send you off into the ether. There we go. And Martha, thank you so much for being on the show. This was amazing. You gave the audience so much value.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to sleep. You gave me sleep.
You are going to sleep. Okay.
Hey, that's awesome.
All right. And I'm sure I will see you at our various networking and speaking and all those
I will see you.
events we do.
Yep.
So other than that, let me just go to the list. Do not forget Project Joy every morning at 7 a.m. Central for half an hour with Jessica. Hang out with her. You can jump on the calls like this or just watch it live on YouTube or Facebook. And every now and then, if I can get my butt out of bed, I will pop in there to say hi and play. Divine DNA Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central. Throwback Thursday has Kuti Mac at 6 p.m. Central. And of course, the Breakthrough Show, our, what do you call it? Flagship show. Guest Robert Bell from Kenya. It actually says for Kenya on the graphic you gave me, Jessica. It should say from, I think. Or maybe he's for Kenya. Maybe he's pro Kenya. But Robert Bell is going to be on Friday at 12 p.m. So, oh wait, there's a comment. It's got to be Jessica. Oh no, that's from your transformation. You got some, look at this. We got great session. Thank you guys. Love it. People are loving what you do, Martha. And you just have an amazing rest of your day.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for watching. If you are a viewer, we're going to be back the last Monday of next month with another guest who I should know because I'm supposed to keep track of this, but I don't know what the name is right now. It'll come up on social media. Don't worry about that.
You'll know.
We're going to do it again. They're going to coach me. I'm going to coach them. And maybe you'll get coached too. And maybe they'll be like, just take us 20 minutes overtime because they're giving so much value.
Yeah. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. No, I'm not sorry at all. I know Karina's definitely not sorry. She's just like, hey.
It's all good.
All right. So I'm going to put on our outtake. And other than that, thank you. Bye. See you guys again.
Thank you.